Welcome to GenX Journeys, the podcast that's all about rediscovering, reinventing, and thriving. I'm your host, Paul Stressner, and if you're part of Generation X, this show's for you. We dive into real stories of resilience, reinvention, and personal growth, all while celebrating the past and charging full speed into the future. Whether it's nostalgia-fueled throwbacks, inspiring conversations, or motivation to help you level up, GenX Journeys is here to remind you your best days are not behind you. They're happening right now, and you're just getting started. So let's get into it. Welcome to GenX Journeys, everybody. I'm Paul Stressner. And before we dive in, I always like to start off with a little gratitude. And for me, as many of you might know, I'm training for the Marine Corps Marathon, and it's coming up in less than a month. So a little nervous about that, but I did a long run yesterday. It ended up being 12 and a half miles, and I wasn't feeling really good about it. I just felt like I should have been going faster, and I feel like I should have been able to run further, but I did what I could. And then afterwards, I looked at the Strava app, and I actually set a bunch of personal records, and the times ended up being faster than I thought. So, so I just have a habit of beating myself up really bad. And so, because for this Marine Corps Marathon, you have to get to a bridge which is at the 21-mile mark by a certain time. And if you don't make it in time, they close the bridge and then you can't finish, which is what happened to me last year. But I only had a month or so of training last year. But this year it's been going much better, and I'm way further along, so I'm grateful for that. And I posted another funny part about something. I posted my long run yesterday, and then I got a comment on TikTok that said, "We semi-fluffy guys need support." So I think that was a compliment, but call me.
It was.
Backhanded compliment. But yeah, I am semi-fluffy, but I am grateful because I actually had to get new shorts because my other ones were falling off when I was running. So that means I graduated from being fluffy to being semi-fluffy. So you never
We'll
know.
take
Then
it.
pretty soon I'll be in shape. Yeah. I'll be in shape, and then a year or two I'll be ripped, and then that's when the big bucks come in. I'm
Oh,
sounding like
yeah.
Louis Anderson from Coming to America. uh, and speaking of gratitude, I'm especially thankful to welcome today's guest, Shellie Stark. She's a creative entrepreneur, author, and speaker who empowers people to reclaim their peace, voice, and power. She's the creator of the Stark Method and is the host of the brand new Seen and Supported podcast, where she blends storytelling, mindset, and healing tools to help others rise through life's challenges. Her journey has been shaped by empathy, authenticity, and the powerful role of being a caregiver, a role that gave her a deep insight into resilience, identity, and connection. So, Shellie, I'm so glad you're here today. Welcome to the show. And to kick things off, I'd love to hear what something you're grateful for today.
Well, first of all, Paul, I just want to say, one, thank you for having me on the show. But two, semi-fluffy is the new fit, okay? It's the new
Yeah,
fit,
there we go.
okay?
I like it.
Semi-fluffy is the new fit. So kudos to you. Kudos to you for that because you are already there. We're
Oh,
speaking
thank
it.
you.
You're already there. So I will say, just kind of piggybacking off of what you were sharing about your story, what I'm grateful for is with you, explaining and offering the listeners a piece of who I am, is now accepting the shift in my life. So taking and moving into that path of what that shift now looks like. I'm so grateful that I'm showing up in the new shift, that I am taking it by the horns and saying, you know what? Let's dance. And so I'm grateful for that because I could totally just not just not accept that and resist it, but I am just grateful that I'm embracing it, and I'm truly connected to people like you who are helping me, and encouraging me step by step. So that is what I'm grateful for.
Oh, I love it. Yes, yes, and it's amazing that there's a lot of struggles, but then when you're on the right track and you accept it instead of, like you said, resisting it, then you just go into this flow state, and yeah, then just amazing things start happening. Love it.
Exactly.
Uh, uh, so uh, some of my viewers and listeners might not know you, so would you like to give a little bit of your background? You have such a great story, so let's
Oh,
you can go back as
sure.
far as you'd
Yeah.
like. What got you where you are today?
Absolutely. And I will start by saying I feel like I have lived many lives in such a period of time in which I have. So, a little bit about me, background. I'm originally from Indianapolis, Indiana. If there's any Hoosier listeners, go Hoosiers, go Pacers, go Colts. um, so that's for the Indiana bred. However,
Oh, Larry Bird
I
was from Indiana.
there you go, Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Yep, back in the prime day.
Yep.
And so as I said, I'm originally from there, and I always had aspirations to. I've always been a seeker and wanting more. So to that point, I drifted off into the West Coast. I went to school out in the California area, and then I had always dreams of hope of being in entertainment industry, and so that's where I ended up landing, and that's where I had been for many years until the pandemic happened. But my background is TV, film, the arts essentially, dance, and all of that, um, in front of and behind the cameras. So that was my that was my world. That was fully my world. I was on this plane going here, back and forth, auditioning, doing this, directing that, different things of that nature. And then the pandemic happened, right? And we all had a moment to sit still and listen to ourselves. And in the midst of all of that, I would, check in on my parents and whatnot. And I shifted because I also had to become a caregiver to my mom. And so that has shifted the trajectory of my life, because in the entertainment world, you're always on the go, you're always doing something. And so now that we have, you know, a lot of things that we can do independently, that's what I have honed in on. I took up meditation and I studied that for a while and became a guided meditation instructor during the pandemic for people. And so we were able to just connect. We were all at home alone, so we were just able to connect, and you know, it felt like you were connecting with someone. So I would do guided meditations with people during the pandemic. And as you mentioned, now I've ventured into launching my podcast, Seen and Supported. And so that is now my new baby. So that's what I'm really grateful and thankful for. So yeah, that's pretty much who I am and who I was and who encompass all of me, if you will.
Hmm.
So just
Yeah, yeah,
empowering others to be able to take their power back, using their voice, writing their stories, and telling their stories, and being seen while doing it.
yeah. Your podcast just launched today, and I should also note that this is actually how we met, is through the podcast summit. So
It
I think that was in
is.
August, beginning of August or something. So yeah, yeah. So that was incredible. Such an incredible experience, and
Yes.
I would love to go there in person. It was in Atlanta, and I didn't find out about it until less than a week before. So I did
Hmm.
the streaming version, and we had a big chat session going for people that were streaming, and that's how we met. So yeah.
Yes, yes. It
And
was all divine.
yep, yep, yep. And I saw that you posted your, I think it was your first episode today, and
Yes.
it's actually a topic that is actually perfect for this audience. I feel about caregiving, and
Mhm.
because we're all well, all getting we're middle aged now, and we have
Yep,
um, parents that are aging. We're not aging, but they are.
that's right. I still feel like I'm in high school.
Yeah, no kidding.
But don't tell anybody. Shh, far over that.
But yeah, and we're in a unique position too because we have parents that are older, but at the same time we're taking care of kids as well.
Yeah,
And yeah, and I know being a caregiver, you can tend to, that's what you're doing, and you're not taking care of yourself. You kind of lose yourself,
that's
especially maybe if you have children that have special needs, and then that's extra. But
right.
and yeah, so you're getting it from both ends, and you kind of lose yourself. And I feel
Mhm.
like that's where you're coming in and helping people. So
Mhm.
yeah, and I really like the meditation. I feel like that was a big thing. Just with the pandemic alone, there was a lot of people stressed out and everything with everything that was going on. Um, so let's see, which way should we go? So you want to talk about the impact and the struggles of caregiving, how you can lose yourself, and then maybe some tips,
Yes,
in addition to
yes,
the meditation.
yes. Absolutely. And in being a caregiver, it's not a moment. I feel like it's a gradual period of when you lose yourself, right?
Hmm.
I believe that you're just going through the motions. You're just, attempting to get everything done, being, and most of the caregivers are the strong ones in the friend group or the family or whatnot. And so you just do it and you just show up and do it. But we don't talk about, as you're showing up and doing it, you're also leaving a piece of yourself behind. And that was something, full transparency, that I went through, with myself, with my mom having her stroke and heart attack. It was ultimately like the fight, right? You go through situations and you're like, I gotta get this done. I have to make sure the need is there, and or the need is met, that's there. And whether you are a parent, I see that we're all caregivers in some shape, form, or capacity, right? And it was very simple. One thing that was simple for me is I stopped doing my facial routine. I used to do a facial routine. And we could chat about this later, but I have a beauty brand as well that I didn't mention. And I have all the products, but I didn't do my routine, because by the time I finished everything, the capacity level for me was not there. I just wanted to lay down. I was tired, my body ached. Because with caregiving, sometimes you have to be physical. And, I'm pretty tall, I'm 4'10". And
Almost
so,
5 feet. Wow.
almost 5 feet, okay? That's a whopping. Yes. And so with me, being of a smaller stature, I still had to use strength, if you
Mhm.
will, that maybe took a little more out of me. And so with doing that, I just slowly began to cut off things that um, poured into myself, right? That allowed me to pour
Mhm.
into myself, to replenish, to do the things that I needed to have done. And so with that, I slowly, you know, would it was days that I would just wrap my hair in a cap. I put a cap on, I'd wash my hair, but was I like styling it and doing all those things that used to make me feel good? No, I wasn't, because I knew I had to do the medicine. I know I had to, get the food prepared. I have to make sure, she was cleaned and all of those things that we typically do when we're caring for someone else. And that's how I lost myself. It was a gradual shift. Um, but I found myself
Mhm.
again, and how grateful I am. That is another grateful gratitude moment for me, is when I found myself again.
Mhm.
And it was a moment where I said, and it was a shift. It was a shift. I had a friend who said, "Hey, you want to go to dinner?" And I said yes, knowing I had no one to watch my mom, knowing I had no one to come in, but I said yes. And guess what? I was able to go because I was able to get someone to watch her, one.
Mhm.
So when they called out of the blue and was like, "Hey, um, I wanted to stop by. Do you need anything?" And I said yes. And that was the moment. Me saying yes to them was saying yes to myself. And saying yes to myself, I got up, I got prepared, I got my hair, I used those beauty products that, just made me feel good on the inside. So any tips that I could give anyone that has found themselves in a position of losing themselves, whether it's caregiving, being a mother, being, caring for someone else outside of yourself, and you're trying to find yourself again. You're trying to look in that mirror and truly see yourself. Tip number one I would share is being vulnerable and open to the community that you have, and truly unzipping and saying, "Hey, I need help." You don't People don't know if you don't tell them. And going through a phase of wanting someone to just show up, the reality is people have their own lives and things that they're going through themselves. So
Mhm.
speak up, say something. I need help. And can you help me? Or say, if they say, "Can I help you?" Or "Is there anything that you need?" Yes, there is. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is, even at your moment of being so tired or exhausted, find 10 minutes, 5 minutes to just sit and take deep breaths. Recalibrate your nervous system. That was huge for me. Taking deep breaths in through my nose and out through my mouth, and then just letting that weight just fall. It really took pressure off of myself. It did. It did. It took pressure off of me. So I would say, give yourself those moments and then graduate. If you have a routine where you like to put, products on, or if you want to go work out, you can do that and get outside, get some fresh air, do the things that brought you joy, do the things that made you internally happy. It could be getting, and I'm not promoting this, but if you like ice cream, get you an ice cream. Get you something that you say, "Ah, I feel good. That I am honoring me." Do something that allows you to honor yourself. So those would be my three, main tips to share with someone to get who is getting started with on the journey of finding themselves again.
Oh, I love all of that, right? From just being vulnerable and open, people aren't mind readers. And what made you say yes to going out? It seems like you just like took that step, and then all of a sudden everything just fell into place. Was it a point where you just had you hit like a wall? There was like nothing else you could do, and you just like
Yeah,
do you remember?
I do. I was operating, and this is a big one for me too. I was operating at that point out of pure discipline. I had lost. all of my capacity, if you will.
Hmm.
It was because I had been carrying the load for so long by myself. I'm an only child. So I have been carrying the load by myself for an extremely long period of time. And if I'm truly transparent, not having a community show up for me.
Hmm.
So because I had hit the wall, and that's why I'm giving the tip of utilize your community, even if you don't think you have one. You went to lunch with someone, you talked on the phone with someone in your area, even if it's just a voice to listen over the phone. Because I hit the wall, I truly hit the wall, and I was operating out of pure discipline. Obviously doing the things that I may not wanted to do, but I had to do. I was at my wits end. So
Hmm.
it was as if it was my internal voice that said yes. It was like, she needs this. Yes. And
Yeah.
it was like, I typed it so fast and I was like, what are you doing? What? What are you doing? You have no one to come watch or sit with. And that's when the call come in. So when you're open to it, it will flow to you. I'm a true believer of that.
Hmm.
And as we were earlier, I used the terminology of "May the force be with you" or with us. It's like when you are open to something, then I truly believe it will floodgate in for you.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, that was
I
my
believe that
moment.
too. Hmm.
Yeah, it
Yep.
was my moment. I had hit the wall because you know mom had just came back home from the hospital, and I think that night before I maybe had like 3 hours of sleep, but the next day it happened. So I still had to do the routine, and I just hit the wall. That's
Hmm.
what happened.
Yep. Hmm.
And that's why I said yes to me.
Great. And then what you were describing with the breathing, that's the box breathing, right? I think that's
Yes.
like that's a great step just for anybody that's, if you're going through something stressful or whatever, that yeah, I highly recommend that. You want to explain that? How many seconds do you do? Is it like 4 or 5 seconds? You breathe in, and then for a certain amount of
Yes.
seconds, then you hold it, and then you release it for that many seconds. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and I can demonstrate
Mhm.
really quickly. I It's really just a inhale through the nose, like a 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale slow, 2, 3, 4, 5. Allowing yourself to just fall in the moment and truly being still and being and taking that breath in, you're slowing it all down. We go, 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 go. We're constantly on the move. So
Hmm.
that breath, truly being intentional with it, taking it in, slow and steady. It's really like a controlled breath. You're controlling when it
Hmm.
comes in, you're releasing and allowing your body to just relax as it goes out, but you're also allowing it to be controlled as well. You're
Hmm.
not doing it's not that. There is breath work
Right.
like that, which is helpful, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We're just
Right.
talking about to slow it all down, taking that 2, 3, 4, 5 breath in and exhaling 2, 3, 4, 5, and just letting yourself be, having a moment. That's
Hmm.
it.
Yeah. 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 That's because when things feel out of control, that's something that you can control. So yeah, and it gives
Yes.
you a little reset, and yeah.
Gives you that reset.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. With the therapist I have now, that was what we did the very first session I had with her. She taught me that, and yeah, it really comes in handy for sure. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Hmm. And
Mhm.
then, of course, always, you know, doing something for yourself because but yeah, I guess it's that cliche with the airplane. You give yourself the air bag first, so we can
Yes,
help others. So if you're not taking care of yourself, you're gonna burn out. And you're not gonna be help use to anybody. So, yeah.
absolutely. If you don't put your mask
Mm-hmm.
on first, but when you're in it, sometimes, when you're in it, you are just full speed ahead. So
Mm-hmm.
you just need to have those reminders, every now and then. Put
Yeah.
your mask on. Put your mask on because a crash out is can be real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
For sure. And then yeah, just before we actually started recording this, we talked about the importance of building communities to help as well. So, do you want to dig into that a little bit? Because I think
Yeah.
that's a huge help as well.
Yes. Yes. And I will start off by saying on this particular topic, as I had mentioned, I personally, as an only child, not having a huge group or a huge large um, community, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you create the community in which you have. So you start off with family, right? And who in the family is a community? But it's also friends that you have, made along the way. It could be, friends of the loved one that had, that is around as well. They may not be your friend, but they may be friends with your loved one.
Mm-hmm.
Utilizing everyone in the community, that can offer something. As we are givers, we also need to be able to take. So it's a fluid cycle. You give, you take. You give, you take, and it's just like the flow that we all are in. And I will say, with my community, my portion was being vulnerable and saying, I need help with those that I did have. I needed to verbally say it because when you show up and you appear as though you have it all together, or people look at you as if you have it together and you don't need anything and you're just going to persevere and you are just
Yeah.
that type of individual,
Oh, you're
people
so
will be,
strong.
oh,
Yeah.
you're so
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. Oh, you're going to be
Mm-hmm.
okay. Oh, you got this. But it's moments when, yeah, they may have it. Yeah, I had it. And the resilience and perseverance and all of those things. But I also needed a safe space to land, and that's community. I truly believe that. I truly believe that you show up and you make sacrifices for people that you genuinely do care about. I can think of one particular friend um, who was going through something their own selves, and I was preparing to bring my mom home, and she came every day helping me prepare the house to create like this recreation of like a hospital setting, so that I could have everything organized, have particular
Mm-hmm.
chairs and different things of that nature. But she sacrificed to be there and show up for me. And that is when I said to her, I need help. I don't I didn't wait for her to say, I'm coming. I just said, I need help. Do you think you can help me? And she said yes. And so with community, that's what I will say. Again, use your voice, speak up, and then allow yourself to unzip and be vulnerable and transparent that you need help. You don't have it all together. We do not have it all together. We are humans.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We don't always have it all together. And that's why we are here to assist and help each other along the way, being each other's, light within the storm and the darkness. So yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I think that a lot of people have problems asking for help just want to carry themselves, and yeah, that can be very difficult. But people are willing to help. If it's something they can't do themselves, there's a good chance they might know somebody that can help you, and then you might get ideas too of things that would make your life easier that you wouldn't even thought of because you're all burnt out. And yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. This shift in your life, it kind of led you to this podcast and helping people. So you want to talk about your podcast?
Sure. So the podcast is exactly what you said. And we talked about community, and while I had those few, I realized that I needed a stronger base community. And so I said, if I went through this, and if I have gone through this, there are others out there that I know are suffering in silence, and they're just doing it, and they're just persevering as we do. However, there does need to be a soft space and place to land. And so I said, I'll create what I needed. And that's how Seen and Supported came about, because you're not only seen, and that was one of the main things for me, is that people would see me. They'd call, they say, hey, how's it going? How's your mom? And they may even ask how I was doing. But there's a second piece to that, and that's supported. So being seen and supported is community. We'll talk about all of the things that we go through in a in the journey of persevering, and then we'll give tips like we doing just now, and we'll laugh, we'll cry, we'll just be a sense of community for each other, in a soft space to land, to say, guess what? I'm going to hold your hand as you go through this, because guess what? I need you to hold mine too. So we're going to walk this walk together. And that's what Seen and Supported is. We're just a community. It's will be a community that we all walk hand in hand together, because that's what we need in this world. Someone to hold our hands.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that gets me thinking. There's a lot of communities that, for example, just for me alone, I have my today's Sunday. I have my church community, my church family, and then I by running, as we're talking about, and it's just fun just being out there running. And I'm doing the Marine Corps marathon, but also the New York marathon is coming up, and so a lot of
Yeah,
people are training for that. So I'm out there on my long run. I got my water vest on and everything, and then I see other runners with their water vests on because they're doing the same thing. So even if
right.
there are running groups, but even if you're running by yourself, you see other runners. There's just this connection that really like elevates you.
Yes.
Yep. And I'm writing. I'm working on my books. I have a writing community, and we encourage each other and everything. So, and that's a lot of
Yay!
fun. Yeah, you don't even have to be writing about the same thing. You're just going through all this together. So community and everything is so
It
important.
is.
And yeah, and what you're doing is huge, especially mentally. Yeah, it's so important. And like I said, a
Yes.
lot of us are going through that. So yeah, so it'd be great
Mhm.
if people could connect with you. And another exciting thing that I love that you're doing is your makeup line, and everything's like all natural too with that too. So you want to talk about how you got started with that? You're just like master of all trades. You got so
Yes,
many
I
things
told
going on.
you.
It's amazing. You
Yes, I
you, you
told you
help
I
women feel
lived.
so much better too. Yeah.
Yes. Like I said, I feel like I've lived many lives in this
Yeah.
period of life that I have. But yeah, so
Yeah.
backing up to the pandemic, when things were shut down, because I was in the film and TV industry, I, would get makeup done often and whatnot. And I had an allergic reaction to certain makeup. And, I'm a girly's girl. I love all the products. I was trying everything. But when I had that massive breakout, my skin was really bad. It was just really inflamed. And so again, thinking, if I'm going through this, someone else is too. And so I wanted to create a line for myself and for others that was clean, natural, no parabens, no toxins. And that's where initially it was In Her Peace Beauty, but we transitioned to IHP Beauty, which stands for I Have Peace Beauty. And it is all clean. Currently, we have all of the lip, because I've always been a lip girly, natural color, whatever. I love the lip, and so it's just all natural lip, a lip line. And we are implementing the skincare products. We went back and redid the formula on that, so that will be coming back soon for the skincare, as far as like the washing and the lotion for the face, but all natural products. And I'm very proud. The product, um, we've gone to Colombia with the product. We've gone international with it, and so I'm very, very,
Wow.
very, very proud of what we've done with IHP beauty. And it's also stemming with finding your peace. So, beauty to me lives from within. So, who you are on the inside will exude on the outside. You can layer on all this makeup and all of that, but if you don't feel good on the inside, if you're not a good person on the inside, then that's not what's going to come out. And what you speak, there is value in that. And so that's how our lips, it truly empowers. Like our lipsticks names, we have Mindful Merlot. If you like a little wine here and there, but you got to be mindful. It's those things. We have some trendy titles, or names for our lip brand, our lipsticks, and so. But it's just allowing people to know that you can still be beautiful, you can still be clean, and what you put on your skin is just as much as what you put in your body, because our skin is our largest organ. And so we have to be mindful of what we put on our skin, with all of the different elements and the toxins and the parabens that cause, things like the big C word, and all of those things. So we just have to be mindful. And that's why I created I IHP Beauty. Yeah.
Amazing. It's good for you, and, and it looks great. So yep, I love it. I love the
Yes.
creative names and everything too. That's amazing. I love
Yes,
that.
yes, yes, indeed. Yeah, it gotta be creative, right? We have to
Yeah,
throw a
yeah.
little something in there. It has to have purpose. And everything that
Right.
I do, I want it to have purpose. And so it has to
Hmm.
have purpose.
And back to one more thing about the caregiving, or just for emotional health in general. Do you have any
Mhm.
non-negotiables? Like, you're gonna do this today? Is it just the breathing, or is there anything else that you have specific? That
Yes, I have steps, honestly, from when I
uh,
start my day to when I lay my head on the pillow. And I
mm,
talk about this. I'm actually writing a book as well. It's actually finished. It's just in the final draft edits. And in the book, I talk about, I would take a mirror and I would look at myself and I would give myself daily affirmations, just as a reminder. And I still do that today. They're literally in my bathroom on sticky notes. And when I go in there, first thing fresh in the morning, I go to wash my hands. I'm looking at those, I'm looking at myself, and I say them to myself. And it may seem trivial, but when you repeat something, you begin to believe it, and it sticks with you, and those become your little mindful reminders. Those become your little reminders. And so I have sticky notes in my bathroom, and I say those affirmations. I look in the mirror and I say them to myself. I, for me, I read the Bible, and I find different people in the Bible that I can connect to and resemble myself, of what I'm going through in that moment. Who am I fighting like today? And, I do that. I read a passage to myself just as something to pour into myself. So I'll read a passage from the Bible. I'll do my meditation, and it's really in the mornings. 3-minute meditation is what I do first thing when I get up because I gotta go. So I'm 3-minute
Mhm.
meditation, but I'm taking that moment for myself. I'm drinking plenty of water where and that might be like, okay, water. No, yes, water. I'm hydrating myself so I can keep going, keep flowing. Um, and I'm doing my
I hear you.
affirmations. Yes, yes. You
It's
always
always
have to
nearby.
have your water. You always have to have it. You always have to have it. So I'm constantly hydrating myself. And and this is another thing. Everything is scheduled to the most ability of which I can. You can't control everything, right? But if I know I have to do something at 3 o'clock, I'm not waiting until 1 or 2 to start it. No, I'm already ahead of it. So being proactive and not reactive, that is what
Mm,
I, began to make sure that I would do. So if I needed to schedule, and this is going to sound really weird, but scheduling time to talk to friends, I put it on the calendar and I text
mhm,
them. They call and say, "Hey, can we chat at 8 o'clock? Tonight, or can we chat tomorrow at XYZ time?" And they say yes. Boom, it's on my calendar because because when you're caring for someone, you don't know what the day is going to look like, so you have to be available to that person. And so yeah, those were the things. And making sure I'm eating properly, because there was a period where I would just eat everything. And when I say everything, vending machines, I would chips. It was like all of the bad stuff that we don't need.
uh-huh.
But just trying to be mindful. And I'm not saying you cut out everything if that's your happy place, because we talked about getting your happy stuff. Um, but if it just being mindful and just trying to balance your diet as well. In the mornings, I'm always eating. I love mangoes, so I'm eating a mango. I'm doing some type of fruit, and I'm giving my body earth food to
Mhm.
kind of be nourished in the power. So that's pretty much a typical day for me, honestly.
Oh, well, that's all amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need to do that more with the affirmations and stuff. But like I said earlier, with the running, I like tend to get hard on myself, so it's good for a reminder. That kind of reminded me of Mel Robbins does this thing where you high five yourself in the mirror too.
Yes. Yes, that is
Yeah.
real. That
Hmm.
is real. And to your point, getting outside. I try to do that at least 3 times a week.
Hmm.
Get
Hmm.
outside. Get fresh air. Be around the trees. Like, get outside. So yeah, you're running and all of that is amazing. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm doing all the Shellie Stark stuff. See, I'm outside right now. If people can't see on video, I got trees behind me. I'm out. I'm recording this outside. I got my big jug of water that I always carry with me.
Yes. Yes.
I'm becoming
Yes.
less fluffy.
You're fit.
Yep.
Semi-fluffy is fit.
Yeah. Uh,
Yes.
as we start to wrap up, we got our fun questions. I kind of gave you a heads up earlier, so let's start with the first one. Who's your favorite music artist? It could
So
be
I
Gen
have
X or yeah, you can list as many as you want.
Okay, I was gonna say, am I strict to one? Okay.
No.
So first would be Sade.
Uh,
I love Sade. Whitney Houston
mm,
and Sting.
oh, great. Yeah, yeah,
Those are my
yeah. That
three.
was like there's a few celebrity deaths that really affected me, and Whitney was one of them. That was so sad, but yeah, I loved her. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Mm. And then who's your '80s or '90s crush? Again, you can list more than one.
Well, so I'll say I'll say I I did like oh yeah, I do have a couple. I'll say Joey. We talked about Joey. Okay, I'll say
Yeah,
that was one. But
yeah. To clarify, Joey Lawrence, as
yes,
when
Joey
you mentioned on
Lawrence.
our last
Yes.
episode. Yeah, whoa,
Yeah, yeah, so
not
funny.
Joey from Friends.
No, not Joey for Friends. That's right. Joey Lawrence. But I also liked Sean Stockton from Boys to Men.
Oh, yeah.
He was like the crush for me. And then I was all New Kids on the Block back, like that was it for me back in the day. But yeah, yeah.
I love
Telling my age
it.
for real now.
It's amazing. You want to tell people how they can reach you? Any other
Absolutely.
information you want to give? Hmm.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you can definitely find me on YouTube, Seen and Supported with Shellie Stark, and that's Shellie with an IE. And you can find me on Instagram. I am Shellie with an IE Stark on Instagram and Twitter. And yes, come join the community. Come talk to me. If you want to send me an email, you can find me at Shellie with an IE at solarastark.com.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to thank you so much for everything. You Renaissance woman, yeah, doing so many things and helping so many people. I absolutely love your energy. I'm sure everybody will too. So yeah, I hope everybody checks you out. So yeah, thank you so much for doing
Yes,
this. It's been so great getting to know you. So love it.
yes. Well, thank you for having me. I'm truly grateful. Um, you're gonna kick butt in your marathon. We all know it. And
Like,
be cheering you on. And yes, I'm just so thankful and grateful. And hopefully, what I was able to share has either inspired or given someone a little edge and a nudge on their journey in life.
yeah, because a lot of us, especially Gen Xers, we tend to have lost ourselves either for caring for others or just getting stuck in a rut in life. And so that you gave some amazing tips for everybody to follow to help kind of break out of that funk, break out of that rut. So take care of
Yeah,
yourself so you can take care of others. Yep.
absolutely. And no is an answer. I'll say that.
Yep. 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 Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And a one word answer. That's right. So thank you so much. And thank you everybody so much for watching and listening. And we'll see you next time. And remember,
be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes!
sit, Lizzie, sit. Good dog.